There are four questions you can just ask yourself. And those four questions are: how does this make me feel? Have I outgrown this? Does this align with my vision? And what does this say to others about me? I'm sitting at my desk in my office at home. And I would say this is one of the places where I spend most of my life, like a good chunk of my life, is in this office. And so I have set it up to inspire myself. I've set it up to feed my generative energy, my creativity, my positivity, and to remind myself of some of the badass things that I've done in the world. When I look over to my left, I have a picture and it said, they whispered to her, "You cannot withstand the storm." And she said, "I am the storm." Love that. Okay. Then I have a mirror that I got in Haiti. I did some work in Haiti when I was working for SOS Children's Villages. So I love that. And then I have some plants around me. Of course, I have plants everywhere, more than what you can see in this frame. When I look forward, I see a picture it's a collage that I've created of me with my son, and my mom is in one of those pictures. And it's some of the most fun moments that we had. We went to a Ravens game, we went to a Capitals hockey game. Then there's a picture at Christmas time when we were around family. Over here on my wall to the right, I have a map of the United States. And then I've drawn, and it's sort of like a whiteboard kind of a thing, because I love a good whiteboard. So I've drawn on there the places that I've been. And then I look at that and I think of the places that I want to go to. I have around me plenty of lighting so that I can adjust my lighting as needed. So I think this is another important thing about your environment. You need to be able to adjust your environment for the time and the place, the setting, whatever it is you're doing. So after I record these videos, I don't want all these bright lights on me. So I will turn off some of the lights and make it more appropriate for my next phase of work. Also, about my space. You see this chair I'm sitting in? Look, I shop for a number of chairs. I actually bought some and returned some. And this, I've got it set up just right for my lumbar spine. I have some filing cabinets around me because I love to stay organized and have things in a good order. I'm not always organized, but this is another important thing about my space. If I come in and it looks cluttered, I don't feel like I will be my most productive self. So I try to organize, clean up at the end of the day so that when I come in the next day or whenever my next work session is, I don't have to deal with mental clutter and everything is like a blank slate for me. I have some books around me, books that are really important to me, business books. I also have some novels. I have a whiteboard over here and a flip chart because I just love doing that. I have two salt lamps that I bought at the Salt Cave, which is one of the most wonderful, relaxing places to go around the country, around the world. So that's my environment and that's my office environment. Now, I have full control over this. You will not have full control over your environments. I understand that. I am unique and that I'm now living alone. I'm an empty nester. So I got divorced 3.5 years ago. And then my son also moved out and he rents a place with his friends. So I had the freedom and the ability to completely renovate as I wanted to. I got rid of most of my old furniture and I've brought in different furniture. I wanted to make my environment look beautiful and soothing. And I just wanted to change the energy of the house, which I know I've done because when people come into my house who have been here before, they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's just so soothing and relaxing to walk into this environment." And I love that. So part of what I've done is I got some sort of giveaway furniture. I have taken to painting furniture. So I've got a dresser, I've got nightstands, I've got coffee tables that I've gotten and then I've painted or decoupaged. I've done all kinds of like really creative things. And it doesn't really matter whether I screw it up or not because I can always put on another coat of paint or a decoupage. And ultimately, it's not great furniture. So it doesn't matter. I really did it to flex my creativity and create a joyful, beautiful environment for myself. So, how does that relate to you? As much as possible, create the environment that you feel represents you and represents the vision that you are creating for yourself. Now, if you live with other people and you have pets and you have visitors and you have like family members, like there's lots of people coming and going, that's probably a very joyful, full life. And that's amazing. And I don't want that to change for you. But I want you to think about, do you have more control than you know? Like, could you take some time and a little energy and a little bit of money and redo something that doesn't bring you joy, that feels outdated, that feels like it doesn't represent you and the future anymore? Could you do that? Sometimes we feel like we don't want to impose change on the people around us. And that makes sense. It's like pick your battles, choose your battles, and where do you want to spend your energy? I also understand that you're a very busy person, so you can consider this a hobby if you like. What is it that you want to change? I pulled these dishes out to show you as an example. Okay. So when you look at these dishes, think about what you see and whether or not this represents you. Okay. So these are four very different dishes. The first one, this is china. This is white china, and the rim is painted with gold, and there are blue and pink delicate flowers painted around the edges. How do you feel when you look at that? Number two, this is a white plate. I guess we could consider this a dinner plate. It's just pure white. There's no design. And it's not square, but it's not circle. It's like in between. This is very utilitarian. I could put this in the dishwasher and I don't have to worry about it. And then this dish is white in the middle, and then there is a red circle towards the outer edge, and then a brownish circle towards the outer edge, and then there's a whole yellowish rim, and with some leaves and berries painted around the edge. How does this make you feel? Does this represent you? Now I have a fourth dish I'm going to show you. This one is smaller. This is like a plastic material, but it can go in the dishwasher. There's a pineapple on it, and then it's sort of like a Hawaiian kind of a theme. It's like green and yellow and white. So when you see those, I want you to think about like what best represents you and what would you want in your life. Now, these are all plates that I have in my life, but what represents the future me? What represents the future me, I actually think when I'm showing you all four of these, is none of the above. They work for me today. These are great for me today. And by the way, I rarely use the china because I'm worried about like I can't put it in the dishwasher. It's very delicate, but I like using it. So sometimes I pull it out. So none of the above. Eventually, I will get a new set of dishes that represents Lisa, generative power creator, keynote speaker. That's on my future list. But right now, I don't really need to buy anything because I'm good with what I have. But I think that's like an example of what you want to do to create your environment. What else about your spaces? Maybe you go to an office in a building, like a traditional office. Can you shape what you have in there? Can you bring in pictures? Can you bring in plants? Can you change the lamps, chair, the rug? Think about that space. Do you go to a gym to work out or some other environment than work and home, like on a regular basis? I belong to a gym that I work because I love the space. I go into Equinox and I love the scent. I'm very much a scent person. Like I have a super nose, which is good and bad. I love the scent. I love the locker room. I love the equipment. I am surrounded by people who are really into fitness and they've chosen to invest in themselves. People will say, I don't belong to Equinox. It's too expensive. Well, really, when it comes down to it, it's not that much more expensive than another gym. It's not. But I understand it's all relative. I feel better and energized and more generative surrounded by other people who are really investing in their fitness. So to me, that's the best place for right now. And I think for future Lisa as well. So that's another space. I also have a co working space where I go in there and it's a blank space. There's no papers, books, plants, laundry to do, kitchen, other than like I'm putting my stuff in the refrigerator and taking it out for lunch. There's nothing to distract me. I don't want to live like that, but that is a space that I find very productive 2 or 3 times a week. It's really helpful for me to escape this environment that I've created in such a beautiful and loving and purposeful way and just go to like a blank slate. So, those are some spaces that I choose to surround myself with, spaces I choose to live in or go to. And my question for you is what spaces do you love to be in? How could you love your spaces more? Do you need to modify them or could you modify them to represent the future vision that you have for yourself, the person that you are becoming, the generative power person? And just like you would put on the jewelry that you choose, would you choose a different cover for your chair or a different chair? Think about all that. I know it's a lot, but it feeds into building your generative power. If you appreciated the insights in this video, subscribe to the channel and you'll be among the first to see new videos when they drop. And if you could take a second to like this video, that small action will be more powerful than you could ever know.